Hey Marcia, it's MJ with Crow Tarot. Thank you so much for booking a reading with me, and thank you for the email. And I totally get it. I understand. I too am 48, and sometimes, it feels like, it can be tempting to think of ourselves as old ladies, but we are not. Let me just tell you that. We are young. 48 is like the new 33. If you look at people like Amy Poehler or Tina Fey or, Jennifer Aniston, who's 50, by the way, and looks amazing. Paul Rudd, who hasn't aged in like 25 years. I think life is changing. Things are shifting, and yeah, 48 is not old. So let's move on from that, right? So let's get started. The first card I'm going to pull is the heart card, and this is the card that is at your heart. This is the energy that you can feel it, you can really feel it like in that sector of your body. If you think about where this energy sits, it's in your heart chakra. So think about what's going on there, what may be out of balance, what needs to be nurtured. Oops, you just popped out. I'm going to pop you back in because it didn't come up face up. So I'm just going to put it back in and reshuffle. And then we're going to build the spread. So this spread is a crow spread. And the way I do this is I run through the first layer and then I build up. And we build up so we get a clear picture for what energy is in each area of the spread. So it's much more detailed than the regular crow reading. So let's get started. So at the heart, we have judgment, moving on, accepting life as it is, accepting every aspect of your life and calling yourself whole, seeing yourself as a whole being, and moving into a new phase. Now, the energy that sits next to your heart energy is this energy that sometimes likes to stir up some trouble. This is this is the energy that's at the present moment. Oops, you just popped right out. See, this one popped out. So this here, we have the Hermit. So this is this energy of, going inward and checking in with yourself, and maybe holding back on being social, and it's more about connecting with who you are and really like accepting yourself and loving you first, maybe putting relationships on the back burner until you cultivate a really good, strong one with yourself. But let's just see where things go. So this next energy is going to go here. This is the energy that is either helping or hurting. This is the energy that resides in the subconscious, and this could be our inner saboteur. It could be the energy that we muster up when we need to get over a difficult situation, and we're like, this is what I fall back on. And here we have the World. So this is the energy of an ending, a successful ending. So this is the energy that's either helping or hurting. So it may be that this closure in your life is actually something that is very beneficial for you as far as your progress goes. Now we move into our hopes and fears. And our hopes and fears, again, plays with what's in our head. And this is this fear of being alone and fear of going through the storm. Although I see it, you're not really alone, but perhaps you and your family, your son, having to weather difficult times without somebody else there. However, again, this is if you think about this, is the head. Next, we have the grounding energy. And again, this energy also plays with this energy. This could be saboteur or that part of our subconscious, in that this is the energy that we look towards when we need support. This is that, like, I can get through this. So this is kind of rushing through, or just like taking life by the horns and just, just not even, it's like barreling through life, you know, it's just like, I'm just going to take care of it. I've got it. This is very type A kind of energy here, where you're just like, I'm in control. You know, I don't need anything else. I've got it. It's just me. I'm an island, you know, like that kind of energy. So that may be what's helping you get through some of the sadness or the fear. Next, we have a lesson from the past. And this is a lesson that you may want to consider now as, you know, if you go back into your database, you know, things or experiences where you learned lessons that you might be able to look at today and go, oh yeah, I see how that worked for me back then, and I can see now I'm, you know, repeating the same pattern. So this is this card here, the Seven of Swords, is about, you know, getting away with something, but not really having it all. Like you kind of got a little bit of it, but you didn't get the whole package, right? So this could also look, if you think about your relationship with your last relationship where you were in for 12 years, you may have, you know, had, you know, some elements of a healthy and happy relationship, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out as you had hoped or expected. The next card is the external influence, and this is that person, or it's an energy that shows up in your life that comes in uninvited. This is the uninvited house guest. Sometimes they're great, right? You have a party and you have a friend who brings a friend and they're wonderful and they turn out to be like a great cook, and they stay and they help with cleanup, and you know, they bring bottles of wine and we just love having them. Or they're the person who comes in and tramples all over your freshly washed rug with muddy shoes and just causes a disturbance. So this is the energy that we don't really get to pick, you know, it just sort of thrusts themselves upon us. So here we have the Tower, and this is the shakeup. So whoever this is, whatever energy this is, it's one that could cause some, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like the Tower can mean, you know, like a drastic change, and for many, change is scary. So, you know, that's what the image of this card, you know, this card could indicate, you know, like a change that sort of ruffles your feathers, so to speak. But it may be one that will bring about a positive change as well. So change can be scary, and there is a change, and somebody is going to usher in that change. Next, we have the, you know, the possible outcome, or, you know, what the cards see. You know, the advice here. And this is staying strong and staying on course and focusing on what really matters in your life. I'm going to guess what matters most in your life is your son. And so that's where your focus needs to be. So let's start unpacking this first layer here. So we have at the heart of your situation, judgment. So going by what your email said, this would make sense in that, you know, you've gone through a transformation. 12 years is a long time to be in a relationship, and now you're ready to move on to a new phase. So the call for this card right here is for you to rise up, accept the change, and move into a new life. One where you are completely whole, you are wonderful, you have everything and anything that you could possibly desire. You know, it's like, this is your, you know, I like to think of this time in our lives, like, you know, being 48, to be like being reborn in a sense. Like, you know, we're ready to start over, especially with having a break, you know, in a relationship, or when you start moving into something like a new phase of life where it's a completely new direction. This is an opportunity to carve out and create the life that you desire. You're old enough now to have all this wisdom under your belt. You have a history that you can draw upon, you know, when you need to ensure that you don't make the same mistake twice. You already can kind of go back and go, oh yeah, I know what that's like. So here you are ready to start over again. And this is a wonderful time to do it. It really is. I look at this time as, as an opportunity really to decide. And for you, this is an opportunity for you to decide what you want. So if you want that relationship with that person, that's up to you. I mean, really, it's like how what you put out there to the universe, I believe, is what you get back. So, but what I'm looking at here, though, is this hermit. And this hermit is saying, maybe instead of focusing on other people, maybe the time now is to go inward. Maybe the time is to develop that relationship with yourself and enjoy being with yourself. It's like, I don't know how comfortable you are with just going out for long walks by yourself, or having an evening in, if your son gets to go to his dad's, or if you're, a sleepover, things like that. But just have some quiet time alone where it's just you and your thoughts. Because the world is sitting over here, and this also marks an ending, and this is a positive ending. This is not one that, is ambiguous. This is one where things are positive. And because of this, because you've made this shift, you have more possibilities in your life. This was a long time coming. So here, if you look at this World card, there are the fixed signs of the zodiac here indicating time. And so this card that's helping you this card is coming forward to let you know that time has passed and you're in a good spot. It may not feel it all, like, Lord knows, I know. It doesn't feel great some days. Sometimes it can be hard being a single mom. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, right? But overall, you're in a good place. You are in I think the energy that's trying to help you at this point is for you to recognize that you're in a position of success. The Five of Pentacles here in the hopes and fears calls upon what are you focusing your attention on. So the story of this card, and I'm sure you've heard me say this if you watch the videos, is there are two groups of crows here. And so this first group of crows are the ones that recognize all the resources that they have around them, and they take advantage of that. And they're like, oh, we can find comfort and security and stability in this tree, at least for a little while the storm is running through. And then there are the crows down here that are just like, you know what, I'm just going to put my head down, start walking into the wind, and focus on, how miserable this situation is. So here in the hopes and fears, I feel like with you, there's this fear that you're going to be stuck walking in a headwind, that something isn't going to give. The energy that's grounding is, again, this energy of just like barreling through life and just like, it is what it is kind of energy. It's like there's a blindness here. This horse doesn't have an eye because it's just going as quickly and it's not really concerned with seeing what's going on. And I feel like maybe if this is your grounding energy, and maybe that's your defense mechanism, just to go, all right, I'm not going to see, I'm going to put blinders on, and I'm just going to keep going through life. And, I'm just, it's like a life that's not really even living, it's a life of just getting through each day, right? So here, the lesson from the past comes up and, questions you about a time when you settled. So think about maybe, a lesson that may have come from that moment. If you ever settled for something and got less than what you had hoped for. you know, when it was just like, all right, well, it is what it is. I'll take this. Nah, you know, like that kind of energy. So there's something to be gained here from this experience that you can apply to your current situation. The external influence, we have the Tower, which indicates that there is going to be some sort of shakeup at the hands of somebody else. So this could be, again, a positive shift for you. This could be, you never know. I mean, you just never know what could happen in life. You may find out that as much as you love your neighborhood, maybe there's an opportunity for you in Cincinnati, or I'm trying to think where Chillicothe is. Isn't that up by Cleveland, right? Oh, no, it's not. Oh my God, I lived in Cincinnati. So am I thinking, are you on the Ohio River, right? Chillicothe? Anyway, it could be that there's an opportunity for you to move somewhere, or it could be something where something happens and it just shakes you up, right? So just be aware that there could be a change coming. How you prepare for this change, how you mentally prepare for this change, how you accept your history here and own your story is going to have a huge impact on how you manage any sort of disruption. And again, this disruption may end up being something that turns out to be a great thing for you. You never know. So I like to think that almost change is good. Or there's no good or bad, you know, it is just what it is, and it's a lesson. So we'll see what we have coming up here, but let's keep moving. The Knight of Pentacles here brings the message to think about where your focus is. Are you grounded? Is your energy grounded? You have this perseverance and determination. It's like you're not somebody who just throws their hands up in the air and gives up. I kind of, you know, and you get that with this Knight of Swords. You're somebody who definitely is going to keep going. You know, it's like, I'm just going to keep going and persevere. And this energy is a little too quick, and sometimes it doesn't think about those around, you know, those around it. So let's build, okay? So we're going to start off building on the heart and judgment, and we'll see what comes up here. Strength. And there's grace that comes with strength, and there's that personal resolve. So not only are you in this position of moving forward and onward and upward in life, you've gained a great deal of strength and dignity. There's a whimsical nature to this crow here because it's so confident in what its life is all about, that it can stand on this lion's like snout and, you know, playfully close its eye, and it's very playful. This is about coming together with other people in a way that is pure of heart and spirit. Again, being grounded, and because of this, you have these possibilities that are open to you. There is a gentleness to your nature. As you move ahead in life, as you move into this new phase, it's like there's a maturity as well, but you didn't lose a sense of your playfulness. I got that in your email as well. It's like, I loved it. So, I mean, I understand, you know, that, you know, it's sometimes, you know, it's when you write like an email, it can be like, oh, what do I want to touch upon? Or, you know, it's like, and I just thank you for writing a very enchanting email. Sometimes I just get like 3 words, you know. So the next card I'm going to pull is the one that sits here where the Hermit resides. And this again is that energy that is at our current situation, or your current situation rather. And choices, lots and lots of choices. So you may be looking around and thinking, well, I could do this, I could do that, or what about this relationship? How about that? You know, and this is a lot of fantasy going on here. Again, playing with the Hermit is asking you to go inward here because you have all of these ideas going on in your head. But the path to clarity is going to be from you taking some time alone and really dialing in what it is that you want in life. Make a list. Oh, I did that after I ended a 12-year relationship. I made a whole list of things that I will not settle for any longer. These are things that are like non-negotiable. And I like to think that that worked. It didn't. My next relationship was just as bad, but at least I know. So here, this could be getting into this place of really defining what you want. Imagine what your life looks like. What is it like? How does it feel? You know, what does this love feel like? You know, can you define what that relationship looks like? And again, go inward and just sort of check in with yourself in all of this. So next, we're going to move on to this energy that's helping or hurting. This is that subconscious part of ourselves that just likes to stir trouble up when it can. Or sometimes it likes to help. I mean, it can ease friction. So here, this is where you are finding balance. This is where you are almost like in a power play with yourself. You know, it's like part of you wants one thing, but like, you know, part of you wants to be in this relationship, and then part of you wants to just say, you know what, nah, I'm okay, forget it, you know, I'm good. So there is this sort of struggle going on here, and you feel like you almost feel like you have to make a decision. So this energy that's helping or hurting right now, I feel like this energy of the world is helping you kind of come to terms with something being over and ending something on a positive note, but yet there's a struggle for power within you. Like what part of Marcia, you know, wants to come out? Is it, you know, the one that seizes being single and just, you know, going about life, or is it the one who really wants to be in a relationship? So there seems to be a bit of a struggle there. Building off of the 5 of Pentacles, we have so this hope is that you want to be successful. You know, it's like you want to end up in this place up in the tree, although there is this underlying fear of going it alone. There's also this hope of just having it all. Like, you know, it's like, and who doesn't have this desire? This is like this hope of like, and maybe this could be with that relationship where you had that, you know, that friend over and you had this great conversation. You know, this could be this hope of like, yes, something's going to build from this. It's going to turn out to be great, and there will be success in that. The grounding energy is the moon, and this is going into your subconscious. So there may be some issues as far as being out of balance with your grounding energy that you need to resolve. You know, are you tapped into your emotions? Are you, you know, are you able to accept yourself? You know, where are, you know, like the shadows and all? You know, this is what goes back to judgment too. Accepting all of you, shadows and all. Okay. Here, again, with the building on the lesson from the past. So this was a time of harmony. This is where you also learned how to tame your wild side. Whatever this relationship or this situation was, where it didn't work out the way you had expected, there was change from it, and there was something positive that came out of it. Any sort of wild tendencies, you know, or, you know, fear seemed to go away as a result of this relationship or this experience that you had. This was a time of, again, transformation for you. This may have been the event of having your son, you know, where something didn't work out the way you had hoped it to work out, but in the end, it became beautiful. You know, it's like a place of harmony here and finding balance in your life as a result of this experience from the past. Oops. Well, you just popped out, and you are definitely upright. So this Wheel of Fortune is moving in your favor here. So this card, following the Tower, indicates whatever this change is, whatever this shakeup is, it will move you into a favorable position. This is going to be something where you, you look back and you go, well, oh, thank God for that. You know, it may have seemed difficult. It may have been, you know, a little bit jarring at the time, but it will turn out to be something that will benefit you and will move you into a new direction. Or at least solidify this new phase of your life. This external influence, by the way, this shakeup, could have been something as well as this relationship ending. Because this is something that you had no control over. It doesn't need to be something that's in the future. It could be that relationship, and because of that, now you're in this better position. Building on the Knight of Pentacles. So there's a sense of denial here. There's something that you just don't want to see. Like you know the answer already, I think, to all of this, but you're disconnected from your intuition. You're not seeing the whole situation. And so there is, even though there is this like desire to, you know, work, you know, towards something or trudge ahead, and you are focused on some, you know, your goal, there is something that you're not seeing. So let's see. We're going to keep going here. Building on the Heart. And this is where we'll really get into more detail. Okay, so here we have two cards that indicate a new direction, new journey. We have this Judgment card, which is you moving on to a new phase of life, accepting, you know, the past for what it is, the lessons of the past, and moving beyond it, rising up, just acknowledging where mistakes were made, acknowledging where successes were, you know, created, and holding on to those, having grace, having this strength, and now this new path to opportunities, and you're feeling this like pull. It's almost like a magnet is pulling you, and it's very divinely guided. There are new opportunities here for you. This is a time for you to, you know, let that creativity soar. This is a new phase. This is definitely a new phase for you. You know, the Ace of Wands indicates, like, for you, you know, to let your mind clear, let these clouds clear out, trust your intuition. Look for signs right now. This is a great time to notice any little signs and pay attention to, you know, areas in which you are being guided. There is a new path, and it does lead to new opportunities at the heart. So this new phase is one that's really a lovely start. Next, we're going to build on this current energy, and we'll see how this one plays out. The Emperor, this is definitely a take charge situation. You are in this position to, you know, really be in control of your life. You're the one who's going to determine what is right for you. You are the authority of your life. Nobody else, just you. And so here you have this Hermit starting us off with this going inward and connecting with your higher self, because you have all these choices that are all around you, and it can be confusing and you may be getting a little wrapped up in a fantasy, but the Emperor energy is present to make sure that you stay focused and you're on task, and that you're not letting your head get in the clouds, like you're seeing a clear path. Again, it's going to come from the Hermit, from going inward. Building on this energy that's helping or hurting, oh God, the Nine of Wands is just one of being exhausted. It's just mentally exhausted. And so you've done all this work, you really have made such progress, you know, and it's like you want to move forward, and you've done a great job, so much so that you've reached this positive ending, you know, but you've got this decision to make, and it's hard to make decisions when you're exhausted, when you're just like unable to focus because you have so much going on. And so here the Nine of Wands is coming up saying, hey, you know what? Pat yourself on the back. You have all this strength. You've pulled your life together here. Now just rest. Take a moment. Enjoy life. Enjoy the company of your child. Enjoy a break if you can. If you can just take some time without being in a relationship, or enjoy the relationships for what they are without defining them. Right now, just enjoy the company of others. The hopes and fear. Again, with that Nine of Wands, it's like, I think it's the call there is to stop putting in direct effort right now. Take a break. It doesn't mean it's going to go away. It doesn't mean that this, you know, this relationship will end. And you know, what it does mean is that the focus needs to be on you and rebuilding your strength. Here, your hopes and fears is like you want to create a life. Again, it's like this goes to feeling grounded and having new opportunities and seeing, you know, beyond obstacles. So as far as a hope goes, this is something that's like, you know, you're really, it's like this is a desire that may be fueling who you are right now, or your actions. This may be what is behind how you feel about this relationship, or, you know, any future relationships, because you just so desire to be in one. It's like you want that perfect life. But at the heart of it, though, there is this fear that you're going to go it alone. And maybe it's like a lack of acceptance that you're worthy or deserving of the resources that are around you. So that's what's in the head. That's not what's really, you know, like, that's just what's, you know, that does not necessarily mean that's what's going to happen, or this is what's in the future. It just means sometimes, you know, we create scenarios in our mind, and we allow ourselves to move in a direction based on what we hope to have happen. And that kind of goes along with this card here with the fantasy at the present time. So there may be some fantasy right now, but the Emperor is really going to hold you hold you accountable. The Emperor is, you know, that authoritarian figure who is very no nonsense. This energy is not guided by the heart. This is one that's guided by practicality. So building on the grounding energy is one of victory and feeling, you know, at peace with your place in your life, and allowing yourself to be acknowledged and using your creative mind. So this is where you're at your strongest. This is where you connect with life in a way that is supportive and helpful. So here you had, you know, it's like part of you is like, I'm just gonna like go through life, I'm gonna get it done, things will be fine. And you know, that's a defense mechanism, right? You may need to tap into your intuition a little bit here, because that might not be as balanced. Especially because of this sort of like, I'm just going to go, go, go. And this kind of plays with that being in, almost like being in denial. You know, that might be the energy that's helping you get through a situation, but really you need to face it. Because when you do, this is where you're going to find victory. And it is yours, and you know it, because this is in the grounding position. It's like deep down, whether you recognize it or not, you know that success is there for you, or at least feeling content and admired or well loved is where you deserve to be. The lesson from the past. Building on this relationship or this situation here from the past, you know, this is somebody who came in, swooped in, and swept you off your feet, the Knight of Cups. This may have been that person who actually, you said, took advantage of you. You saw who they were. They didn't get, you know, they didn't take everything. You became stronger because of it. It opened up the door for you in some ways. Like you grew from that experience. You grew wiser, perhaps maybe about your money. You tamed some wild tendencies, perhaps, from this lesson. But yeah, this is the energy of somebody who really is that charmer, you know, that person who just comes in and like tells you everything you want to hear. You know, that's like that weekend fun, you know, like the weekend fling, you know, where it's like you have those butterflies in your belly, and then on Monday they're like, oh no, I'm leaving for wherever, you know. It's like, this was just a weekend thing. So that is that energy there from the past. Yeah. But you grew from that experience, that's for sure. I can see that. Okay, so external influence, the breakup, the positive ending, or, you know, shift in your life. And let's see here. Ooh, look at you. Gaining strength and moving quickly ahead. So this experience, this energy that came in, that was from an external source, was one that did cause a shakeup. It moved you into a better place. And look at you, like you're just like full of energy, and you're on your path to victory. That is awesome. It's going to be a very fast moving energy. So keep in mind that you will be moving quickly and you'll be finding that, you know, I feel like having that Ace of Pentacles up in your head, you know that you can manifest things. You can manifest what you want. The important thing is going to be not being blind or being in denial about it, what you want. It's like, again, it goes back to that hermit of really digging deep, like going inward again into the moon here, digging deep to what you want. Make your list. Make a list so that you don't construct this cage of your own, you know, of your own making here. So you need to be able to see your situation with complete clarity. And then we have the King of Swords. And this is an energy, a masculine energy that will come in, perhaps, you know, or this may be your own tapping into this masculine energy of nobility and being grounded and being very like honorable, you know, and clear-headed and just passionate. And it's going to be abundant. Whatever this energy brings, it's going to be something that's, it's going to be very strong, and you know, whether it be financially abundant or abundant in other ways, where, you know, it's like of ideas. You may have, you know, an abundance of ideas that help you connect. Whatever it is, you're going to be open to whoever this energy is. Yeah. So again, I'm just going to like recap this real fast here because oh goodness, definitely going long. Okay, so at your heart, we have judgment, and judgment moves you into a new place. You found strength, and because of this, at the heart of your situation is this longing to go on a new path. You will find signs along the way, so pay attention. Let the clouds part, move on out, and make way for a new life with new opportunities and a fresh start. The energy right now that is at your present moment is one that will be of going inward and checking in with who you are and what you want and what you desire, because you have a lot of ideas. You have a lot of opportunities as well. So really let your mind wander. Dream big. Don't dream small right now. Get creative, but know that you are the one who's in control of those dreams. You can make things happen. You're the authority of your life. There was a successful ending. However, now that you're on this new path, you have to make a choice, and it's going to be one that will be bold. You know, it's going to be one that will help you, you know, move into this new phase of life that you're going into, but you're going to have to create balance. Also, don't be in such a rush. Take a break, relax, enjoy just some downtime, because when you start working too hard on something, you make mistakes. When you start focusing too much energy in one direction, other things sort of fall on the wayside. So now is the time to just appreciate all you've accomplished, find your strength, and just take a few moments out. Again, that goes back to that hermit. What's in your head right now is this fear, perhaps, of going it alone. Although you have resources around you, you may be focused too much on what's not working. There is a desire for you to have the perfect life and to have everything you've ever wanted, and you know deep down that you can create it. So in your head, like, you know, if you tap into that part of your brain, you know that you have that ability. But again, it's going to require you to get clear, to see over any obstacles, get grounded, tap into your heart chakra here, and decide what exactly you want, because that's when you'll start manifesting it. Your grounding energy is one right now that is just like, I'm just going to go, go, go. However, it may be out of balance because you need to tap in with your intuition. There's something that you're not paying attention to. There is this energy at your, like, if you think about like your root chakra, right? There is this energy like that just sort of holds you down and keeps you focused. And that is one of knowing that you have it within you to be victorious. You have that energy in you to be in that winner's circle here. This lesson from the past, I definitely see as that person who was, who took the $2,000 from you, and that here they got away with something. They didn't get away undetected. It did create transformation in your life in that you learned a lesson and you grew from it. You grew from this experience. But they were definitely somebody who was a sweet talker, and because of that, you may be a little bit more weary now and going forward of somebody who is, you know, who plays that hand very well. The external influence was definitely a shakeup. This could have been the 12-year relationship, but it moved you into a better place, a more positive place. And now you're just charging ahead. Like you're just like, boom, I'm going, you know, I'm moving forward. The outcome or the advice that these cards are bringing to you is to stay focused. This is not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is a time to pull in that strength of yours, get grounded, tap in, feel your root chakra, like really ground you to where you are. Focus your energy on the things that really matter in your life right now. That could be your son. You may be in denial about something, so think about a situation in your life perhaps that you're not facing head on, you know, or you may have this idea, and I'm just going to throw this out here, okay, that you think that because you're 48 that you're not young enough to have like a hot relationship, but in fact that's the cage you put yourself in. And in all reality is that you're young and you have more than plenty of time to engage in wonderful, excited, passionate relationships. So that cage of your own making could be that. There is a King of Swords coming, and this is somebody who is clever and logical and noble and very clear-headed, and that person may help you. Untangle this red tape. So anyway, I hope this reading makes sense, and I did go a bit long, but I don't know. I hope I got it right. So let me know, and bye for now. Peace. Bye, Marcia.